It's been a little while since I've done a video, probably 10 days or so. As some of you know, dealing with some medical things that are lifestyle changing, a couple of surprises, and all good news though, all controllable and stuff like that. However, because of the blood clot, DVT, I have to not shave with a straight razor according to my doctor. So they wanted me to shave with an electric. That wasn't going to happen. So anyways, I'm on day 20 of my DE or double edge razor Captivity, and I'm going berserk. I did switch it up yesterday with a different DE, but still mild. So today, uh, we're going to go through a DE shave, as boring as that is on video, but I figured it was time to make a video. Before we forget, check up here during the video. It's different times. Check out my friend Nurse Dave and his, I call it going inside the mind of John Malkovich. Barbara Dave has got a hilarious way of presenting things, and good friends. So check him out here. And then also Major Rich. Major Rich, the fun-loving guy that you feel like you want to pull up a cup of coffee and sit down and watch his shave videos. So anyhow, as soon as Bill M gets enough listeners, I can tag him here. But unfortunately, right now, it's he's not under a lot of search parameters yet. So we'll do that as well. And then we'd like to welcome Long Haul Tanker. His videos are showing how a truck driver shaves on the road, and it brings back a lot of memories because I drove for Montfort and DS, a driver service company, long haul trucking, long time ago, and brings back memories. Although Long Haul Tanker, they didn't have automatic trucks back then. Kind of weird. But anyhow, so we welcome him, as well as any of the new members to the shaving cadre. And so today, we're going to use a favorite. With Christmas coming and everything else, figured we'd go ahead and use English Fern from Penhaligon's. And in Penhaligon's wonderful marketing, they decided to discontinue it. Why? I don't know. This is the non-tallow version because I only have a little bit of the tallow version left. And there's definitely a big difference in the lathering properties of the non-tallow versus the tallow. It's not bad though. I mean, it's still good, but it's not quite the same. It has a tendency to dissipate a little bit, but not too bad. I usually, if I'm using a Badger brush, I don't even wet the brush. And if I'm using a synthetic like I am today, I barely wet it, and I do not soak the puck because loading dry seems to get a little bit better loading capabilities and a little bit creamier. Today we're using the DE Captivity. We're using the Feather ASD2. However, I did switch out the blade. It's a brand new Wizamet blade. Hope everybody's doing well. See that everybody is getting a lot of their Christmas decorations up, which is nice for the holidays. That's kind of on the agenda today for me, at least the outside. And don't forget, those of you that are on the cadre that are partaking in our Rudolph gift exchange, don't forget the deadline for mailing is coming up very soon. I don't want to say which date because I'm not really sure, but just check on the thread or check with Rudolph and they'll let you know. Got another TSC Zoom call coming up this afternoon with recent events. We're calling it the TSC Clinic. And no, as somebody had mentioned, there is no copay to join. And I know a lot of people have trouble to switch gears. A lot of people. See, I made a thing, gear. Speaking of gears, boy, I'm getting more and more like Dave every day, confused. Speaking of gear, I believe the bingo game is still going on. I started playing it, but like I said, life got in the way and I just kind of did not have time to catch up. So, but I think everybody's having a good time with some spirited ribbing as Gear Noir does his magic. But to change gears, I know a lot of people that have tried the non-tallow version of English Fern have a heck of a time lathering it. Well, somebody, I'm not sure who, on the cadre had coined the phrase that Barber Dave can lather anything. And I appreciate the compliment, but there are a few that I cannot lather. Eucharist being one, but that's not a soap. That is a spawn from the devil. Although the scent is wonderful. The soap blows chunks, similar to the brand new version of Crabtree and Evelyn. They're just not good soaps. The creams are fine, but the other soaps are terrible. The old versions of Crabtree Evelyn were absolutely stupendous. I've got a very little bit, and I use it very sparingly, of the original Crabtree and Evelyn Missouri Sandalwood, and that's all that's left. I remember this was a $22 bottle of EDT back in the 80s, and now if you can find it, it's pushing $400. So that's the last there is. I don't have any of the soap left, but there's plenty of good sandalwood soaps out there. I know Ethos puts out one, and a couple other people, CBL, stuff like that. So, but the English Fern, you can still find the EDT and the powder on the secondary market. Soap's a little bit harder to come by. The tallow soap's almost impossible to come by. And it is just a wonderful, wonderful wonder. They never come out with a aftershave for it, however. But fortunately, the aftershave we're using today is in the same wheelhouse. With those of you that have had trouble lathering the non-tallow version of English Fern, just take your time with it. It's like Mitchell's Wool Fat. Start out with a dryer brush. Add water very slowly, and you'll get a nice creamy lather. It will feel a little bit drier on the face, but that's okay. It still maintains its slickness because you can add just a tiny bit of water, and usually I'll do that on the last pass. I'll just add a little bit of water towards the end. Boy, that sounded like Bob Ross, didn't it? We'll put a little bit of water here and make it a happy tree. And see, you hang around for Nurse Dave too long and you start entering his mind, and his mind enters yours, and woof, off you go. In fact, I just almost lathered my forehead. And no, ladies and gentlemen, it's not the meds. All right, last pass. And the Wisdom blade and the feather is really nice. Not quite as keen as the feather blade, but with the risks of getting a cut, I rather play it safe. Although I very rarely have ever injured myself with a DE. However, if next week the shaving continues as it is, without any bruising or blood loss or anything like that, I may even throw caution to the wind and go to an SE, meaning my vector. But we'll see. I definitely won't be using a gem style for a long time. And if that continues, I may give it a shot and do a straight so you guys can see a NASCAR disaster if it happens. But I would have to get that by the boss. Because I don't think she's going to let me use a straight until the doctor gives me the all clear. But I have found, for those of you that are on it, I found that Eliquis it clots up pretty well, even if you do get a little nick. I was horsing around with the dog, and he got a hold of my hand, and I started bleeding, and it didn't do much. So, all right, so there's 3 passes. The new Wizamet blade is as smooth as ever. See how the alum did with this new blade. Not bad at all. And I was glad to see that Nurse Dave and I have been sending a little bit of Thayer's back and forth. And he was pleasantly surprised on the lavender, which is nice. It's not too strong. It's not too heavy. And again, Thayer's, if you're listening, you got 3 stars. Major Rich, Nurse Dave, and myself. Help us out. We promote you guys like crazy. I mean, we have the Thayer's lavender, we have the Thayer's cucumber, and we have what we're using today, and that'll make Dave happy, which is Thayer's lemon. And this is really good stuff. I will say it is very, very nice. And then for today, we did use our trusty Sorrentino Corleone brush with a synthetic. And I gotta say, and I can't believe I'm saying this, knowing the number of Badger brushes I have, more and more as the synthetic brushes have become so fantastic, I find myself going to a synthetic brush a lot more than I used to. I find that they're just so easy to use. In fact, Eric Sorrentino, aka Smatteyu, is sending me what will probably be the coolest brush I've ever seen. All I'll say is look up on the internet, look up Pillars of Creation in the constellation Orion. That's all I'll say. It should be here Monday, so I may be able to shave with it Tuesday, and I'll do a video on it. And to me, it is the finest brush he's ever made. And I know all of us, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Sorrentino brushes, and this one by far, I think, is going to be the superior one. Although the Corleone, awesome, awesome brush. For the razor, we use the Feather ASD2 Day 20 of Captivity with this thing, but this time we put a Wizamet blade in it, so it felt brand new. No, it didn't. Okay, for the aftershave, since English Fern does not do an aftershave, basically what we're going to use is Asylum Shaveworks Royal Fougere. And it is fougere, tomato. It's another very ferny aftershave. This does have a little bit more lavender note in it, and it's a little bit sharper, but it balances out the creaminess of the English Fern EDT, which we'll be using as well. For the powder today, we will be using the English Fern powder. This is one thing that Penhaligon's did very, very well. It matches the fragrance perfectly. However, again, it's harder to come by. But it seems to me, going back to another subject, again, seems to me that my meds are finally starting to, not only the DVT meds, but the diabetic meds are starting to stabilize. I'm down almost 12 pounds from last week because that's part of the lifestyle change. And so far, we're getting there. Okay. Now, once again, the king, the master, the superior reign of all galaxies, English Fern. Just tremendous, unbelievable, amazing stuff. And as Dave said yesterday, if you're gonna do a fragrance, don't just piddle around. Put it on. Fragrance isn't for everybody else, it's for you. And with this stuff, it's worth spraying like mad. So, anyways, that's it, guys. I certainly appreciate it. So again, Penhaligon's English Fern non-tallow, Penhaligon's English Fern EDT, Asylum Shaveworks Royal Frigere, Parasso Alum. There's, if you're listening, there's lemon, and the ASD2 and the Corleone by Sorrentino Shaveworks. So we certainly appreciate it, guys. Please come join us at the Shaving Cadre. That's www.theshavingcadre.com. We'd certainly love to have you. We feel that we're the nicest, the most gentlemanly, and the most free, quote, quote, shaving forum on the internet. So come join us, check us out, see what you think. If you like us, great. If you don't, hey, at least if nothing else, you test drove us. I'd like to thank everybody at the Shaving Cadre for all the support they've given me over the last 2 or 3 weeks with all this revelation type stuff. For those of you that are signed up for the TSC call, I'll see you this afternoon. And again, have a blessed Sunday, and we'll see you next time. Have a good day.